In this lesson, we're going to look at guides. These are often overlooked but extremely useful tools that help us position and align objects on our stage. To create guides, we first need to have the rulers turned on, which I've already done by choosing View and Rulers. Now, all we have to do is position the mouse cursor over one of the rulers and click and drag. And there's our first guide. To create a vertical guide, use the left ruler. Now, as long as we have snapping turned on, snap to guides here, we can now use a drawing tool, such as the rectangle tool, to click and drag. And as you can see, the guides help us out. Our drawing object snaps to the guides. Also, when we're moving things around, say if I grab this by the corner, it'll snap to the guides. And if I turn this into a movie clip by hitting the F8 key, I can now grab it by the center, and the center will snap to the guides. The same applies with any of the corners if I grab it by the corner. Now, there are a few more snapping options, but we're going to cover those a little bit later. For now, while these guides are very useful, remember that they are scene and nesting level specific. Remember a little while ago we talked about scenes and nesting levels. Well, if I create a new scene by choosing Window, Other Panels, and Scene, now this is a new scene, mind you, the guides disappear. They're only contained in Scene 1. But if I make a copy of Scene 1, the guides come along with it. Now, about the nesting. If I double-click my movie clip here to edit it, of course I can move the stuff around inside it. And although I can see those guides still, my objects will not snap to them, because they're contained in the main scene, not Symbol 8. Now, if I create a new guide inside Symbol 8, this object will now snap. If I return to the main scene, we now cannot see the guide that's inside out. So remember, the guides that you place are specific to the location in which you place them. Okay, so now we have some guides, and say now I want to modify them or get rid of them. Well, if we choose View and Guides and make sure that Lock Guides is not selected, we can use the Selection tool to drag our guides around. To delete one guide, drag it back up to the ruler, and now it's gone. And you can do the same thing with the other one. To delete all the guides, choose View and Clear Guides. Now they're all gone. But if I go back into Symbol 8, remember that this guide is separate from the first two. This one's still here, so I have to clear this one too. Okay, so now let's have a look at the rest of our guide options. Choose View, Guides, and Edit Guides. We have a little dialog box here, and we can set the color of our guides. And we can also turn the guides on or off, determine whether objects will snap to guides or not, and we can also lock them. And remember I mentioned that we have some more snapping options. This is where we set them. We can change the snap accuracy here. Set it to normal, must be close, or can be distant. This is very similar to our earlier lessons on drawing preferences. And finally, we can clear all the guides from here, and we can save all of our current settings as the default. So every time we open a new Flash document, it will open with these settings. And that's it for our discussion of guides in Flash 8.